pistol in hand. He swept it back and forth before lifting his head and shouting a curse, but it was too late. He got off one shot before Jan was out of range. "You had your chance," he murmured. A few small pieces of a badly attached pipe dropped as he continued up the walls and landed on the flat roof of the storage building. Drones aimlessly circled in the air, relying on their pre-programmed flight paths. Jan didn't try to avoid them. His jamming made them useless. All he needed to do was keep moving. The ghost's movements made it obvious they'd never had direct camera or drone line of sight on him, which, he had to admit, puzzled him. Given their clumsiness, how had they spotted him? Jan smiled thinly as he charged to the opposite edge of the roof. His leap cleared the distance easily. He headed for the next roof, his anxiety lessening. Jan would not fail his Empress, but that changed nothing. He couldn't risk contacting the Beidou until he finished cleaning up his mess. It wouldn't take long. Jan stood in the darkened apartment near the door, his fingers tight around the handle of a knife. The late arrival of his would-be assassins surprised him. He'd assumed the ghosts would retreat immediately to their safe house. When they'd spotted him, he wasn't anywhere near it, and there was no reason to assume he'd compromised the location. Instead, they'd spent far too long trying to track him in the city. He waited, with a small glint of amusement at the idea they would die in the one place they believed secure. Standing in the darkness of the quiet apartment, the only sound the mild hum of the environmental control system transformed Jan's assassination preparation into a near meditative experience. The apartment lay inside a tall building and was located near the center. That insulated it from the noise of street-level traffic, or the occasional flitters allowed above buildings in the tight airspace of the domed colonial city. The location annoyed him. The arrogant ghosts had picked a poor location. He could understand their choice, but it was flawed. The large strike team would have to travel through more than one hall to arrive, and the lack of windows to the outside combined with apartments beyond provided a natural sniper defense. Those advantages were cancelled by the lack of an easy escape route. Jan's frustration with the quality of his targets built. The ID had always been a minor consideration in the plans of the Corps. While the government agency's efforts against other members of the Corps had facilitated the acceleration of the Empress's plans, the current fevered timetable had never been her intent, at least not when he joined. Harassment of the other Corps members was one thing, but the damage to her operations was unforgivable. In the last few years, the ID had changed from a manageable threat to a potentially lethal one. Jan's teeth ached as he subconsciously ground his annoyance between them. The last soldier and the warrior princess were the problems. A small number of highly skilled people could execute missions with far greater success and influence than their organization could account for. Morale, momentum, mayhem. He understood those tactics all too well. They were the ID's reflection of Jan, Trelian, and Celeste. Empress Julia had alternately attacked the pair and used them for her own ends. He wouldn't dare question her vision. But it was obvious Blackwell and Lynn had become catalysts for the efforts against her. All efforts should have been expended to crush them before they'd gained the protection of the ID. The apartment door slid open and a man stomped in with a frown. He was one of the ghosts who'd been chasing Jan. The idiot didn't bother to sweep the apartment. He all but begged for death. "What's up with the lights?" the ghost asked. He tapped his PNIU. Jan sprang away from the wall and planted his knife in the agent's throat before the man could turn his head. After Jan pulled the man's gun out of his shoulder holster, a quick shove sent the wounded agent gurgling into the hallway, his hand to his throat. The ghost's partner jumped back and reached for his gun, but hesitated since his partner was in the line of fire. That brief indecision cost him his life. Jan shot him twice in the head before shoving the gun against the knifed agent's forehead and pulling the trigger. A short silence extended as two bodies thudded to the floor. No screams, no alarms. Useful to know. He hadn't been sure what would happen, but hoped the ghosts had taken measures to ensure they could kill someone near their place without it bringing in the police for an investigation.